In 2013, ABC Action News launched our series called Taking Action for Your Parents Initiative. This campaign had an extremely positive impact on our community. We were the first station in the market to address the needs of adult caregivers who were struggling with making difficult decisions for their aging parents. The goal of Taking Action for Your Parents was to provide our viewers with the latest information about decisions like assisted living choices, legal and financial planning, when to tell them it was time to stop driving, and options to keep their parents independent. And for our sponsors, it was the perfect environment to showcase your facility because your message is surrounded by news and information that matches your expertise and specialty. Taking Action for Your Parents partners were seen as a valuable resource and provider to the community. Your partnership with a highly trusted local news source helped you be seen as an authority in your field. The promotion for this campaign was robust, both on air and online, with focused relevant topics within our newscasts. The campaign launched with promotional teases that included the Brookdale logo.
More and more, you have to make decisions for your parents.
As they age, their financial well-being, their health, housing, and legal decisions may fall on you.
Don't wait for an emergency to get the answers you need. Now is the time to learn how to make the best choices. All this month, ABC Action News is helping you
take action for your parents.
Watch our special reports weeknights at 5.
Taking Action for Your Parents is brought to you by Brookdale Senior Living Solutions, all the places life can go.
Taking Action for Your Parents news stories were seen by 2.2 million adults during our 4-week campaign. Our news tune-in promotional spots and news stories aired Monday through Sunday in our 5 p.m. news, 12 noon news, and 6 a.m. news on the weekend. Hosted by our Director of Community Affairs, Lisette Campos, the Brookdale segment of Positively Tampa Bay aired July 11, 2013. Our Taking Action for Your Parents phone banks made quite an impact with the community. The phones were ringing off the hook, so much so that we wound up taking calls past the designated stop time. The 4-week Brookdale commercial schedule reached a total of 4,715,000 adults. The Brookdale digital elements achieved 513,341 impressions, which is over 91,000 more impressions and 22% more than promised. The campaign click-through rate was 0.11, which is well over the national average of 0.06. Taking Action for Your Parents has quickly become the news and information platform that viewers count on to be a resource for our local community. Combined with the local information sources that we were able to share with viewers, this new outreach was one of the most successful campaigns available anywhere in the market.
She's my baby, she's my baby. She'll always be my baby.
Roberta Harvey, Bert, as she likes to be called, still loves to cuddle with her daughter, Kim. The mother and daughter have always been close, but recently, after the death of Bert's husband, the two had an uncomfortable conversation about moving into an assisted living facility.
It was like 3 days after he'd passed away, and I quickly became aware of how dependent she had been on my dad. And so my brothers and I really realized we started to get nervous about Mother living alone. And that it just became very apparent to us for a lot of health reasons, a lot of issues relating to her memory. I have a career, I work full-time, and I knew I couldn't, on a daily basis, provide the kind of care that she needed. So a lot of the factors, I guess, worked together that the time was right.
But how do you bring up such a sensitive subject?
The conversation was hard because change is hard. And she had already endured the biggest change of her life, which was losing her mate, her husband of 63 years.
Jackie LaFrance, who is a manager at the West Central Florida Area Agency on Aging, says it's important to begin the conversation by keeping your parent in the loop and part of the decision-making process.
Involving them, more so asking them the questions, how do you feel about living home by yourself? Giving them the opportunity to find out for themselves and realize that they may need the extra help. they may need more care than the caregiver can provide.
I talked with her physician, tried to get his recommendations as well. That was important to me, that the medical and healthcare issues would be covered in a manner that I could feel confident.
Jackie says you can tell your loved one about all the opportunities for more socializing, and that moving means they won't be so isolated anymore.
What do you do if your parent or parents resist your efforts to help?
If you do run into that resistance, if there is no cognitive impairments and they have their full mental capacity, the decision is ultimately theirs if they do want to move into a facility or not.
In Bert's case, she already had friends living in the Horizon Bay Memory Care by the Bay Assisted Living Facility.
And I thought, well, if I gotta live a place, that's where I wanna be. So it worked out good. Something became available that I wanted because they're all sizes, you know. But the 1 bedroom suits me fine.
Right. And this was your first dog?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Bailey.
Mary Beth Schnell's father, Pete Moose, is suffering from early onset dementia. Mary Beth's mom has been his primary caregiver for 8 years. But a year and a half ago, her mom started having health issues of her own.
When I felt like I needed to step in, as my mom had a fall and bruised some ribs and broke her collarbone. And she actually blacked out and didn't remember falling.
Mary Beth suggested they transition her dad into an assisted living facility.
Then we had to struggle with where to put him. Did we put him in South Carolina, where my mother and father were living at the time, or do we bring him to Tampa?
After deciding to bring him here to Tampa, she started doing some research.
I think the internet provides probably more information than you could ever imagine in terms of directing you to different facilities that are out there.
She asked family and friends and focused on Horizon Bay Memory Care by the Bay, near her home in South Tampa. The next step would be interviewing staff and family members.
I know that our agency has an assisted living facility checklist of questions that they can view on our website, agingflorida.com.
Jackie LaFrance is a manager with the West Central Florida Area Agency for Aging. Her other advice?
It's important to look at physical features. It's important to notice the little things. Listen with a third ear as to what's going on in the assisted living facility so that you know behind the scenes what goes on day to day. It's also important to look at how the staff interacts with your parents and with the other clients and consumers in the assisted living facility. The financial portion is also something very big that needs to be discussed. What options do you have if that facility accepts any state-funded programs? Not all of them do. If they accept the private insurance with the long-term care insurance.
When medical issues like Alzheimer's are involved,
safety is more the concern at this point. It's important to check the windows, see what options or safety precautions they have in place for lockdown, locks on the windows, if they have the life alert button available, if there is security available.
Mary Beth chose Horizon Bay for all of those reasons, but also because it provided her dad with a social life.
Their dining area is beautiful and they play music. It's like you're in a restaurant, and he sits with the same group of men for every meal. So they've kind of become his buddies. And so just all of that together really created what I was looking for, which was kind of a home and comfortable community and environment.